I wanted to go to an HBCU and be a drum major. That was like my ultimate goal, was like, I'm going to be a drum major. Jackson State, there's a YouTube video of Jackson State drum majors that I used to watch on repeat. I showed my band director, I learned the routine. I'm like, dude, we going to turn this thing out, right? So that's why I didn't play football till late. Fast forward to your question, we're playing like, I don't know, whatever school we're playing. And they said their drum line stood at our gate to entrance to the stadium and stood there and played. Now, I knew what that meant because that local band that I played in, we did that. I mean, we had Cleveland Shaw come down and we played against Cleveland Shaw in the middle of the Black Family Reunion. We battled against them. I did battle competitions. I'll show y'all YouTube videos when we're done. My brother just sent them to me. We did battle competitions in the city and stuff like that. So when we got done, of course, we get in formation 2 by 2. We go marching out. And then their buses were where we entered back into the high school. I stopped right in front of their bus and I just stood at the edge of their bus and started playing. They knew what that meant. So whoever it was, he came off the bus, got his drums. So here it is, me and this guy battling out the back of St. X High School, right? Battling out. Once the last person folds up his drums, it's over.
Yeah.
He didn't know I was armed, right? I've been doing this, right? So he folded up his drums, got back on the bus. There was a picture that we hung in the music wing for the longest time of that battle. And I was a living legend at that school, man. And how can you play football when that's your story? You
what
know
a story.
What's up, everybody? I'm Peanut Tillman, and this is the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. And with me, as always, as my trusty co-host, Roman, I have great posture, Harper.
Not all the time, but most of the time I do. Really looking forward to our next guest, man. Very interesting career.
Yeah.
And now in his coaching career as well. I mean, more coaches, more great NFL players, more great NFL stories. I can't wait to hear.
He is a 2-time Super Bowl champion, drafted by the Seattle Seahawks in 2012, and he's currently a D-line coach with the San Francisco 49ers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the pod, Gregg Scruggs! Yes.
That was pretty good.
I appreciate it, man. It's posture. It's because my posture is, I feel right. I'm boisterous. I'm very boisterous right now. So
your diaphragm is not.
Your
diaphragm's not closed off.
You know what I'm saying?
So you breathe a lot easier.
I made Thomas happy. He's smiling. He normally all mad. For those that listening, watching, Thomas is our angry producer. We can never do anything right, so we just always like to give him.
Yeah.
So Gregg, how's life, man? How are you feeling?
Life's good, man. I can't complain. I'm man, look at it outside. I get to live in this. Man, it's good, man. I wish I could give you something that was a thorn in my side right now, but it's not, man. I'm enjoying life, enjoying what I do. I'm really grateful to be here with y'all. I know that's like a cliche saying, but man, I didn't get involved until late in life.
How late?
Stop right there. Here we go. I got you. How late did he get into ball? So he did not start playing football till his senior year. Now, before that, he was actually a quad drummer.
That's right.
In the marching band. So quad drummer meaning 4.
That's right.
So you doing that thing.
That's right. Yeah.
So you probably did you grow up in the church?
Yeah. My favorite movie as a kid was Drumline.
So when that came out, did you and your friends like, all right, let's like trying to walk back and forth? Did y'all ever try to see who could drop the stick?
No, but I did. So I went to a private school in Cincinnati, and they were unfamiliar with any of that.
So I know this school. The school's name is St. Xavier. It's in Cincinnati. They call it AKA St. X.
That's right.
The sister school is St. Ursula.
That's right.
So, knowing these things, just
you lived on campus too, right?
What's that?
You said you lived on campus too, right?
I did, yeah. A program I was in called Hope Ignites is formerly known as Boys Hope Girls Hope. We had a house. It's a program that took me out of the inner city, and then they were the ones who provided me the opportunity to go to St. X High School. And I wanted nothing to do with sports. Like I genuinely wanted to play basketball, and that was it. And so growing up, the way that my mother took care of my older brother and I to keep us from doing things, she couldn't. My mom was a single mom of 4 kids, right? Mm-hmm. So she couldn't provide the transportation to get all of us to different sports. So the way that she kept us out of stuff was a little local band. It was just a local band, didn't cost us anything. we practiced twice a week, either under a bridge or at a rec center. And that was that. When I got to high school, I said, hey, y'all got a band? I don't know anything about it, but I want to join the band. And met my music director. To this day, this is why drumline was so like pertinent to me. To this day, I can't read music.
I was just going to say, can you read music?
I can't. So there was a guy, God bless his soul, man. His name's Christopher Ray. I don't know where Chris is, but if this ever finds him, Chris, what up, man? Chris Ray, I would make him meet me at lunchtime. We had 2 soundproof rooms. Go figure. Private school. We had 2 soundproof rooms in the music wing.
Uh-huh.
He would play, let's say 4 measures. I'd memorize it. I'd play it back. And then once we got together with the brass and the woodwinds and the other sections of the band, growing up in church and being around music, I could piece it together. So I learned it measure by measure, learn the first 8 measures. Once I heard the horns, okay, that makes sense. Got it. And then he'd do me the next 8 measures, whatever. And that's that. So, doing music for me, that was something that was a separator. I felt like everybody wanted to do sports. Yeah. So when I got to St. X, as you know, like parochial private school, like if you don't know St. X, like to paint the picture of my school, when I was there, it's since changed, okay? But we had 1,500 students, roughly 1,500 students. We had 36 total minorities in the entire school, right? Like that was my school. So I went to my band director and I said, we need to change this up. We need to do formations. We got to make this thing cool, man. This halftime show with doing these corny formations and competing, like that's weird. So we did. And from that point on, the first thing we did, we made an X. And then we made a lowrider. We played lowrider, and then we made a lowrider out of the formation, and we did kind of hydraulics.
You got him to do these
Bingo.
things.
I did. Because what I wanted to do, going back to how I got, why I didn't play football until late, was I wanted to go to an HBCU and be a drum major. That was like my ultimate goal, was like, I'm going to be a drum major. Jackson State, there's a YouTube video of Jackson State drum majors that I used to watch on repeat. I showed my band director, I learned the routine. I'm like, dude, we gonna turn this thing out, right? So that's why I didn't play football till late. But I was from like the inner city. I was from the hood. So I was confident in my own skin. So all the band members kind of felt like they were in with me. Yeah. And I felt like I was a cool guy. Yeah. So all this, fast forward to your question, we're playing like, I don't know, whatever school we're playing. And they said their drum line stood at our gate to entrance to the stadium and stood there and played. Now, I knew what that meant because that local band that I played in, we did that. I mean, we had Cleveland Shaw come down and we played against Cleveland Shaw in the middle of the Black Family Reunion. We battled against them. I did battle competitions. I'll show y'all YouTube videos when we're done. My brother just sent them to me. We did battle competitions in the city and stuff like that. I knew what that meant. So when we got done, of course, we get in a formation 2 by 2. We go marching out. And then their buses were where we entered back into the high school, I stopped right in front of their bus and I just stood at the edge of their bus and started playing. Uh-huh. They knew what that meant. So whoever it was, he came off the bus, got his drums. So here it is, me and this guy battling out the back of St. X High School, right? Battling out. Once the last person folds up his drums, it's over.
Yeah.
He folded up his drums, had nothing else. He didn't know I was armed, right? I've been doing this, right? So he folded up his drums, got back on the bus. There was a picture that we hung in the music wing for the longest time of that battle. And I was a living legend at that school, man. And how can you play football when that's your story?
What a story.
Now, my high school coach, man, he would always say, like, if you play football your freshman year, you'd have been the greatest football player to walk these hallways. And you couldn't sell me on that because I thought the football players, they thought they were cool, but they weren't in my mind. Again, this young immaturity, like not really growing and understanding. Like I was going to be who I was, but maintain the quote unquote cool factor.
So at what year did you come into high school or to St. X?
04 was my freshman year.
Okay, so you got there freshman year.
Yep.
And you go straight to band because that's what you were used to doing.
Yeah, band and basketball.
And you just stayed away from football.
My high school coach see me in the hallway every week. Hey, man, you need to come. Steve Speck, who's one of the greatest coaches ever, by the way. But
were you just that much taller than everybody?
Yeah, I was gifted, if you will. Like, I was gifted. Now, St. X, we had some really good athletes. I spent a lot of time just trying to get good at basketball. And I didn't want to be associated with football. It had nothing to do with soft, scared, or whatever. Like I tried to play football when I was 6 years old, but my mom couldn't take me to practices. So that was the end of my football career. I always felt like I wanted to, if the football players came around me, my kind of arrogance was like, look, man, I go to a private school. I'm from the hood. I just want to let y'all know I ain't got to play football to be tough. Like I'll be in y'all ass at any second. I ain't thinking twice about it. Don't let these sticks fool you. Don't let anything about this fool you, right?
Yeah.
It was a little arrogance, right? And immaturity. And then my junior year, I went out for football and we were doing a workout.
What made you go?
I don't know.
It was just time.
My best friends played. So I'm like, all right, let's go. Man, junior year, I went out. And I was laying in bed. I think I did like 2 weeks of workouts. I'm laying in bed. It was a day like today. It was 75 degrees, looked outside, clouds in the sky. And I'm like, man, they about to go yell at me in the gym. Not doing that. So that was the end of my football career my junior year. I went to go play basketball instead.
How long was that, your football career, your junior year? How long was it? Was it
2 weeks. Just them 2 weeks. Yeah, then I went back to marching band and then senior year. Something came over me. It's two things. I promised my best friends that I would come out. And then I told him, if I do get an opportunity, man, to play, like, I'll chase after it. And then there was something that came over me that said, I don't want to look back 20 years from now and wonder what would have happened, especially considering everything that my high school coach had told me, right? Yeah. So I just stuck with it. Workouts I was killing that. And fortunately, going to the school that I was going to, scouts, but college coaches were rolling through consistently. So all of them would get their eyes on me and say, who is that dude, right? The dude that's 6'3.5", 6'4", can run like a gazelle. Because at the time, I was only 210 pounds. I could jump out the gym. I was a basketball player. Who is that dude? They like, he doesn't play football yet, but if he does, he does. But for me, it was that I wanted to play for my high school coach. And man, if it didn't happen, I was going to the military. But the only thing I knew was that my mother wasn't going to pay for me to go to college. That's the only thing I could guarantee, was that my mom wouldn't pay a dime.
I was a similar plan B. I was trying to get a scholarship. I was definitely joining the military. That was my spot all day. Question I do want to ask you.
Yes.
How natural was football for you, since you didn't really play it?
It wasn't, man. It wasn't because when I played, Coach had one rule for me. He held up a Y5. That just told me get in the Y5 and just burn the edge. Like my linebackers had to tell me where I was going in the pressures. I didn't really know how to hit people, so my neck was always hurting. Like I went in the right angles. I had a good D-line coach. He played college ball. He coached in college. So my high school D-line coach, Coach Wiles, he was really good, but it wasn't natural. The only thing that was natural to me was rushing the passer. Because basketball, I had a natural spin move, and then trying to turn or bend the corner, bend an edge. Like these are all angles that we got to use in basketball to be able to make something shake. So it wasn't very natural, but as I would come to learn, become a good college coach, like understanding how you're recruiting the potential, and which what coach would say to me, man, it's a meat market, dude. It's a meat market. Like they just love, I'm telling you, they're going to look at you and love it. And even that rubbed me wrong. So I still almost didn't play because he told me it was a meat market. Like I still almost was like, nah, I'm cool, man. I'm going to go play basketball. Like I'm good. They can have that. They can go recruit somebody else. But yeah, it wasn't very natural. The only thing that came, I feel, naturally was rushing the passer, because you could put me on the edge and it's me one-on-one, using what God has given me and using the same traits that were transferable from basketball to be able to go try to get the quarterback.
So your senior year, you play basketball and football.
That's right.
Did you get recruited to play basketball?
I did. Small-time D1, big-time D2, big-time D2, but it is what it was to me. My offers in basketball were Miami of Ohio, Western Michigan, and then Brown University. Those are my only 3 D1 offers. And the school that I really wanted to go to was a school called Rollins College in Florida. It's a beautiful, beautiful campus, beautiful place. My high school basketball coach went there. So we had a connection, a good end. So I was going to pass on football to go play basketball in Florida. But I did have opportunities. The AAU circuit helped that out a little bit. The way we played ball at St. X was like, motion offense, pass, screen. You don't really get to utilize your skills. Now, we went to 3 state championships in the Final Four while I was there, so it worked. I don't think I really maximized my opportunity as a ball player, but I did get some opportunities. So it wasn't like I was chasing a ghost. Like I still was going to be able to fulfill that dream of not having my mom pay for school.
Right. And eventually you got that at Louisville.
I did.
And so how does that go? I mean, how exciting is you and your family? Like, I mean, you went from quad band to quad drummer to football player at Louisville.
Yeah.
And did you tell your teammates when you got to Louisville that you were a band?
Everybody knew. Everybody knew me as like everybody knew me as a drummer boy. That followed me all the way through college.
Okay.
That was the nickname, Little Drummer Boy?
Nobody really called me that, but like when I came out for like 30 visits for the draft,
Yeah.
I went on a visit with Chandler Jones. And as soon as I got on the bus, I'm like, Chandler, what up, man? Gregg Scruggs. Oh, drummer boy. Oh, my man, what's up? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's how they knew me. But the way that happens, the short of it is I went to a camp in Miami of Ohio, and I stood in the defensive end line. Them dudes was too big, so I moved over to the tight end line. This is more me. And worked out, got talked to by an Ohio State scout. Who are you? We need to know who you are, blah, blah. Didn't work out. Nothing happened there. Go to a University of Louisville camp.
Yep.
There's 3 people in line. First guy in line is a guy named Nate Nord. His uncle was the tight ends coach at Louisville. Third guy in line was me, Gregg Scruggs. Second guy in line who was most inquisitive about what I was doing and how am I going to do it was a dude named Travis Kelsey.
Oh, wow.
Right. So that's how he and I became friends. Was through that camp. After that, we saw each other at like a UC camp or something. My first game, Miami of Ohio offered me a scholarship. Man, I said, done, shut it down. I said I wanted to go to school for free. I got a scholarship. If I get offered, if anything happens to me and they pull this offer, I'm going to be pissed. Like, I don't care. And my high school coach says, hey, man, just wait. There's plenty more where that came from. Just hang tight. Nah, coach, I had one goal. I want to go to school for free. It's 45 minutes up the road. Great education. I can play football. Let's do it. Nah, just wait. Third game, Coach Fulmer at Tennessee called me, offered me a scholarship. And then it was all downhill from there. Michigan State, Michigan, Illinois, Wake Forest, Purdue, Virginia. Wow. Man, it was all downhill. And what made me choose Louisville, man, was somebody like myself. I couldn't have told you about the Big Ten, the SEC, ACC. I knew nothing about that. Like, I wasn't familiar with it. I played NCAA, but the conferences didn't mean anything to me. Sure. Like, whatever. They play ball, they big, I'm big, whatever. It doesn't matter. But when I got to Louisville, there was a guy named Trent Guy. God bless him. I walked into a house party as you do on visits. And Trent said, welcome home. Boom, that was it. That's the first time I felt like I was at home. I wanted to go to a place where I felt like home. Tennessee was great, but Coach Cutcliffe left a week after bringing all this. He brought 5-6 staff members up to see me, and we're not going anywhere. Been together 16 years, and the next week he left. I'm like, no disrespect, but cool. I don't know who's going to be there. Wake Forest, I wanted to go to Wake. I told him I'll commit on the spot if you guarantee me a spot in Maya Angelou's class. God rest her soul. She was still teaching a course there. If you guarantee me a spot in Maya Angelou's class, I'll commit. Couldn't guarantee me a spot. Well, I didn't commit.
I love that you drive a hard bargain. Yeah. You know exactly.
You know what you want.
It's amazing since a young man, you've known what you've wanted since day one. And you kind of just like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Very confident. Maybe ignorance is bliss. Right?
You took the words out of my mouth.
Like you kind of don't know any better.
That's right.
But you say it with you're a big guy. You say it with a deep voice. You speak it and you just go make it happen. I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to you tell us about your life story.
No, I appreciate it, man.
No doubt.
Yeah,
how good does that make you feel as far as you getting all these schools and you got the one game and you're just like, no, I want it. No, wait a minute. Just give it time. They will come.
You know, it felt good. You know, all my friends were being recruited. Like, of the 22 guys who started on my state championship team, like at the time, we were the #1 team in the country. So of the 22 guys who started on that team, I'm not going to waste time trying to get it, but I want to say 19 or 20 of them played college ball, some way, shape, or form. Ivy League, D1, D2, like all of them. The guy played opposite of me, went to Wisconsin. My linebacker was Luke Kuechly. Like, my 2 corners played Ivy League. My running back came to Louisville with me. Tight end came to Louisville with me. Quarterback could have went to Northwestern, but instead runs a hedge fund around here somewhere or runs an AI company around here somewhere. Like, my center went to UC. My wide receiver went to UC. Fullback went to UC. Like, my backup quarterback went to Notre Dame. The starting left tackle went to Notre Dame. You know, like, so I see all these dudes getting recruited, and it was cool. But for me, the main thing was the main thing. Like, that's cool. That's great. I don't really care about any of that. Like, they tried to, I'll give you one example, and maybe, you know, players out there, former players can relate to this. Like, we went on a visit, and the ignorance is bliss part, this is where it resonates. I went on a visit, Peanut, and this dude, I won't say where, But he started trying to tell my mom about how they just did a $70 million renovation on the stadium. That's cool. He started trying to tell her, we just signed new contracts. Again, being on this side of it now, I understand what he was trying to present. But my mother and I'm the only athlete in my family, like family. I'm talking aunts, uncles, whatever. Like I'm the only one. So we don't know anything about this. And he's saying, oh, well, we got a new contract. We're going to be here. I can take my wife to the Macy's now, or, we can get her a Lexus. And here we are, my mother and I, like, we wait on the food truck on Saturday morning sometimes to go get food.
Yeah.
My mom don't care about any of that, right? And so, I didn't really care about the offers. It was cool because all my friends, it's nice to say it, and, but like, for the most part, all I wanted to do was make sure I was going the best opportunity because I never thought I was going to be good enough to play in the NFL. I just want to go where I can get the best opportunity to enjoy college football and get a degree and go get a job. So it was cool, but I didn't really care, and that kind of mindset, I think growing up late in sports is kind of, it's kind of stuck with me because I'm not oohed and awed by a lot of things. Like I revere a lot of things and a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I revere both of you guys, like respectfully. I watched you guys play ball, like I respect the hell out of that and I revere it, but if any of y'all walked in and just put your chest out, like I'm supposed to know who you are, even though I do, like I wouldn't think twice about you. I wouldn't shun you. I wouldn't try to talk bad to you, but it's just how I grew up in sports. Like you respect people and you revere them, but you don't ooh and ah over things because when you strip it all down, we're all just the same people. So it's the same thing getting recruited. This is cool with football. Cool. I'll make the most of it and let's roll,
Yeah, I like that. At what point did you realize, because you said you didn't think you were good enough to play in the NFL, right? Mm-hmm. So at what point in college did you realize, like, no, I got a shot at this. I'm decent. I'm pretty good. Yeah,
there's three people really. My first coaches, I always like to respect all my coaches who gave me opportunities. Ken Delgado, wherever he is, he recruited me. Coach English, Coach Cragthorpe, God rest his soul, they recruited me. I still didn't think I was good enough. I thought I was good to go to college. But when Charlie Strong got there and he brought this maniac of a D-line coach named Clint Hurt, right? Big Hurt.
Yeah, I know Big Hurt. He came to Chicago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So when Big Hurt got there, and a linebacker coach named Coach Brian Jean-Marie, Coach BJ, they both were the ones who said, like, man, you have all the things that it takes to play on Sunday. And basically, we gonna push you to get there, but you got to believe it and you got to do the right things and you got to buy in. That's when I went from, when they got there, I think I was 252. They were like, hey, they got there in the spring. Hey, by the end of spring ball, you need to be 275. All right, don't know how to do it. No supplements, no nothing, man. Straight, like Coach Moore, man, it was straight. Eat 3 meals a day. Take these Gatorade shakes in the silver cans. Take these Gatorade shakes. Drink them. That's it. Okay, cool. All right, this is what you got to do. You got to be, you got to have keen attention to detail. That was Coach Hurt. Man, everything I did, rushing the passer, playing run, man, it was about the little fundamental details of everything I did. And if you do that, you can play on Sunday. And, it worked out. I still never believed it until I actually got drafted. And even when I got drafted, I'm like, man, I don't know what they see in me or what they think. Again, not having the wherewithal that these people do this for a living. They've done this for years. For me, I'm like, I don't know what they see or what they think, but all right, I'm going to just go out and do what I know, do what I was coached to do, and see how it works. So when them got there, 2010, when Clint Hurt, Charlie Strong, and Coach BJ got there, and it speaks to how people can speak life into people.
Yeah.
Like Coach Hurt, man,
I'm a firm believer in that. I was that same type of guy where I always had this quiet sense of confidence, but for me, I didn't always know or think I belonged. And when somebody else told me that I did, then it like gave me the confidence, like, okay, I can do that. So you're not the only one, and I totally get that. And
I want to talk about the position change when you came to Chicago.
Yeah, sure.
2016. Yeah. Talk about that. Where did that come from? How did that happen? What was that about?
Man, that was for my half year, 9 months, 10 months in Chicago. Man, that was some of my most enjoyable time in football because of what I got to learn, like just from people and dynamics. Like, so
was Fox?
Yeah, it was Foxy's last year.
Okay.
Yeah. So it what happened was I came in at the end of 15, played, had a sack and a half or something like that. felt good about it. Cool, let's go to the next season. And then a little birdie told me that, hey, man, it might be tough sledding for you to make it as one of the 8 or 9, however many we dressed. Like, nothing you did, you're killing it, which I felt like I was. But there's just certain people that other people like, cool. But we weren't able to draft a tight end, and we didn't sign one in free agency. As it was told to me, this is not me to my own horn, like, you're probably the only guy that's athletic enough to be able to move over there. Would you have any interest? And I'm like, whatever helps the team, dude. Like, if y'all feel like that's what help us win, I just want to help us win. So I was in there studying the playbook one morning, went upstairs, met with Frank Smith, Dow, said, hey, we heard you, this might be a thing for you. I said, yeah, it'll be a thing for me. Let's make it shake. Cool. And I turned in my defensive playbook, picked up an offensive playbook, went back downstairs to the tight end room and just started studying. And same thing, you can speak life into people. Frank Smith, Dow, both of those guys, I don't know, after like 2 OTAs, they're like, man, you could be one of the best blocking tight ends that this league has ever seen if you really stick your mind to it. Because I'm not scared to hit people. I play D-line, you know. I'm not scared to put my face on somebody. And I don't care about trying to conserve energy or any of that. And I don't have an ego that says I need to catch passes. I just want to play and I just want to help us win. What do we got to do?
Did you wear gloves?
I did wear gloves.
Okay. I was just wondering because
he's a big swag guy. He's
if a tight end come out there with no gloves, I'm like, this is definitely run.
Yeah. No, I wore gloves. You know what was interesting in my switch was what I learned about defensive linemen and defenders, outside linebackers. You know, like I wanted to hit. Like I want to, you know, I just got done taking on double teams. You know what I mean? Like I want to go hit you. I want to put my face on you and see what you're about. And what I learned about DNs, you know, and outside linebackers, I'm like, okay, a lot of us, like, you know, Coach Hurt wouldn't allow me to not go put my face on somebody. That was the biggest gripe with me. I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I'm trying, Coach. Like, I didn't grow up. Like, I'm doing what's technically supposed to happen. I don't have a natural instinct to say, forget it, run through his face, right?
Yeah.
My technique says, put my hands here, put my eyes there, da-da-da, right? And sometimes it doesn't look as physical, but that's what my technique said. So when I got to tight end, I kind of developed into that. Like, man, I'm going to put my face on somebody. What I learned from D linemen was, man, like a lot of dudes will put their face on you for a play, for 2 plays, for a series or 2 series. But if you keep hitting a dude, a lot of D linemen, they don't like it. They get uncomfortable with it because the notion of tight ends that we all want to catch passes. But when you get a dude that's 278 pounds that's playing tight end that can run, you know, I was a 4'6" dude, like I can run. Hey, man, I'll put my face on you. That's a little difficult. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Man, I did. That's how it happened. But once it happened, like I only knew one way to play the game because I came in until that was hard with everything I got. So if I finish through the whistle, I promise you, bro, I ain't trying to show you up. It's the only way I know how to do stuff. Hey, and it just showed up on defense. It showed up as me running to the ball. I didn't get to make every play. But on offense, if I was on contact with you, man, the way that showed itself was, man, me just trying to finish through the play. So I enjoyed it. You know, I really did enjoy it. When I say I learned a lot, like what I didn't understand or what I didn't quite get because I was on successful teams. Seattle, we had successful teams, was how much people appreciated dudes who didn't have egos and just wanted to go do whatever it took to win.
Yeah.
My proud moment was when we did captain's voting. I mean, I was there for 8 months or whatever it was, 7 months, 8 months, whatever the case may be. I didn't win it, but the amount of people that came up to me and said, hey, man, I just want to let you know I voted you captain because of the way that you do stuff.
I like that, yeah.
Man, and the way that you play the game. It's not an ego. You're a great teammate, but you play hard. You're trying to do whatever it takes to win. Like, that was a proud moment for me.
Yeah.
But it also taught me, like, man, you can show up in this locker room, not have an ego, show up and do work. You don't have to be the rah-rah guy. You don't have to be the guy that catches every pass. You don't have to be, but the way that you do stuff will speak volumes to how people in this locker room respect you. And you just keep being you, bro. And that kind of stayed with me, you know, and carries with me now in the coaching.
Yeah, I like that. We all have a day where we got to retire, resign, however you want to call it. Yeah. Mine was when I tore my ACL my last year. So I just kind of knew this was going to be, or that would be my last season, a 34-year-old corner with a torn ACL coming off going into his 14th season.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
At what point did you know it was time to stop playing football?
It was November of, I think it was 17. I tore my ACL. I'm a big man of faith, and I was really leaning into my faith through some things that happened in life at that time. Like I was really leaning into my faith and whatever God's purpose was for my life. The way I tore my ACL, man, I got signed by the Pats, and I was given a look, or there was a look that needed to be given, and I thoroughly enjoy being on look team. Like if there needed to be a look given, I got no ego to go do it, and I'm on the active, so I don't really care, man. Like let's go do it. And there was a look that needed to be given. I jumped in. Like I wasn't even supposed to be out on that rep, but I jumped in like, hey, let's go. I got it. Let's go do it. And that route tore my ACL, man. I knew it was true. I knew the red flag that was going to come with me now, going to different places. And after I was going to rehab back from it, kill it. And I just said, you know what?
What week was this?
Yeah, when I tore my ACL, that was October of 16, last week of the season,
Okay.
October 16. And then I set my sights on September 1st, 2017. If I'm not signed, I'm retiring.
Got it.
We came into July, and I had to spend 3 days with the Jets. Like, hey, we think we're going to sign you. We don't think we are. We think we're going to sign you. Stay here another night. We think we're going to sign you. We don't know if we are. Stay here another day. That gave me hope to like, okay, maybe September 1st is too early. Like, let's just keep pushing it back. I didn't end up signing. I had to get another surgery. Okay, cool. Once the wave of cuts went through, I know nobody's going to get signed the first 3 weeks. Teams are set.
Mm-hmm.
Like weeks 4 or 5 roll around. Let me give myself a window. And finally, I called Troy Vincent, and I called TV and said, hey, man, look, I spoke at the symposium. Yep. And he said, hey, man, whenever you're done playing, you need to come work for the PA. He was at the PA. You need to come work for the PA. Like, you got an opportunity at the PA. Cool. Well, I called him. He was over at the league office and said, I think I got an opportunity for you. This is when this thing will start. It was a Legends Development Program, which was spectacular. Shout out Tracy Perlman, like, and the team. So I set that day. As the day I retire. And if anything didn't happen before then, man, I said, I'm out of here. So that's what happened. But I had to give myself a runway. I didn't want to do it abruptly. I had to give myself a runway. And when I trained up until the morning that I retired, and nobody knew, not even my agent. I didn't tell him. That morning I went in, trained for 3 hours. That night, didn't get a phone call. I packed up my car and I drove to New York City. Called my agent on the way, said, hey man, I just want to let you know I'm hanging him up. Called my mom, said, hey, just want to let you know I'm hanging him up. I'm taking a job at the league office in this Legends Development Program and player marketing, and that's going to be that. So that's the day that I knew for sure. And I set that hard deadline for myself so I wouldn't chase the dream for another year, spending all your cash reserves, right? Like training out of pocket and hoping to hang on, doing workouts here and there. Like I didn't. I did get an opportunity once I took my job at the league office. A team called and wanted to bring me in for a workout. I told them I would only come if I would be guaranteed my contract. They wanted to check on me, whatever, what have you. And thankful to TP and the whole team there. They're like, look, you can go do it. You'll have a job when you come back. Because for me, again, the NFL, that was icing on the cake. I never thought I could make it. So I got this opportunity to work at a building that there's a line down 51st Street to get into. Like, I got this job. I can't pass it up, man. I got a career. This is what I want. They were gracious to say, man, you'll have a job. Nobody in this building has an opportunity to go play on Sunday. Like, so go take it.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't pass on it. And the arrogance in me said I wanted to walk away from the game. So I called him back. So-and-so texted me. I keep the text message. I'll show y'all. So-and-so texted me, said, I'll be picking you up from the airport at so-and-so time. I said, there seems to be a misunderstanding. I won't be getting on the plane. And he said, all right, best of luck with everything. I knew that's when it was going to be over. And that's when it was it, man. I kept working with TP, and that was great.
So you kind of been the same guy since high school when you told the high school coach, like, nah, bro, I'm good. Mm-hmm. And it's just, you say it, you have this sense of confidence, you know what you're going to do, you know what you want, and you just go do it.
Yeah.
It's been kind of beautiful to hear. How do you assess your own NFL career, looking back on it? Because you're a coach now, so you get all kinds of different angles at it.
Yeah, if I were a coach talking about myself as a player, if we had meetings or evaluation meetings, it would just be, man, uber talented dude, just unfortunate that he got bit by the injury bug. And that's the coach. Myself reflecting on my career says that my career, for all I expected to get out of it, was successful. Like, I cried every time I made a team.
Yeah, because you had zero expectations. So,
like, I never thought I could be here. And every time, and I worked my butt off. And I try. And there's one game in my entire NFL career that I knew for a fact that I was bagging it in because I thought the Seahawks were going to cut me, so I didn't want to get injured. So I'm like, I just got to make sure I don't get injured. That's the only game in my career that I can recall, and it stings me that much that I remember it. That where I didn't play with everything I had in my body.
Because you weren't gonna get cut. So you're like, bro, as long as I don't get hurt, I'm good.
That's right. I'm like, as long as I
only had that feeling one time.
That's it, one time. Other than that, what I'm most proud of, I wanted to make the money. I was 3 weeks away from getting a second deal in New England. Whether that's true or not, that's what my agent told me. So, like, he was like, hey, man, look, Bill's they love you. They love the way you do things. We're not going to go into free agency, do this thing. It's not going to be a lot of money, but it'll be a deal. Cool. I'm from Cincinnati, bro. I don't need a lot of money to make stuff shake, And so I was close to getting that in the riches. But I played in the National Football League, man. I touched that grass, and it wasn't like somebody just gave me a chance. Like, hey, man, so-and-so's hurt. Like, I made the 53. I made the team. I went out there with one of the greatest defenses to ever touch the grass, right? With some of the best players to ever play the game at their respective positions, at least in my eyes. Like, I earned that. I worked hard for that. At one point in time, just like you all and some people and many people listening to this, there was one point in time where there were only, it's grown now, but at the time it was like 1,562. There are only 1,500 people that can say that they are the best players on planet Earth, and I was one of them. Like, I was on that 50, like, I was one of the best football players on planet Earth, and that is undeniable. So that was success. So I say that from the football perspective. I don't want people to think I don't love ball. I love ball, passionate about it. But my most thing that I'm proud of, man, was the teammate that I was. And it took reflection to realize that, that I could still have relationships with every team that I played on, with every teammate that I had. Man, I had good relationships. I built friendships, and I realized God's purpose in my life sometimes. Man, maybe it wasn't to be the first rounder that I thought I was going to be, or that my coaches thought I could be, or second rounder. Maybe it wasn't to go make all the money and make all the plays. But it was the fact that when I'm in LA, I can call Brandon Mebane and go over to his house and hang out with him. That when we had our Super Bowl reunion, they passed the phone around. I wasn't able to make it. I was coaching, but they passed the phone around, and I get chills, and everybody's just as happy to see me, despite the fact that I wasn't a superstar on the team. Like, that I can go to Chicago, or and I can get voted to be a captain, despite the fact that they knew I wasn't going to catch. I wasn't catching a dig, a deep ball post. I wasn't doing any of that, but I was going to block my butt off, and I was going to play any team that you asked me to play on. And in New England, like, that I had some very intimate conversations, with Gronk when he was going through some injuries that he probably wouldn't share with other people, but at least I was there. He had somebody to talk to because we was going through it at the same time. Like, that's why I think it was a success, because I think most people make out trying to be the superstar, but Seattle taught me on that team that it was just about the sum of the parts, not just one individual piece, man. So that's why I say it was a success as a player. The coach would say bit by the bug, talented dude, bit by the bug. But myself, man, there's no way I could look on it and say it was a failure.
That was a great coach's answer as well. That's kind of a little bit of insight of what they look at players when, because you're part of the evaluation process now. So
yeah,
you spit it right out.
That's right.
I like the both sides how you did it though.
I know.
As
really
a player, I say this. As a coach, I think this it's good insight to look at it through two different lenses.
Would you two say the same thing about you? Like, how would you all assess your career?
And not giving a long-winded answer, good teammate. I think all my teammates, the two teams that I played on, they would say the same thing.
Yeah.
Great teammate and just comedic relief.
Yeah. For me, as a player, I was never the best player on any team I think I've ever been on, even going back to high school, in my opinion. But I am a person I thrive in the gray. I'm not a black and white guy. So it's like the gray, the unknown, like I can make anything happen.
Mm-hmm.
Very smart guy. And
You said you wasn't a gray?
I thrive.
Literally.
Thrive in the gray.
Just wanted to. That one's for you, Thomas. That one's for you. Don't edit that out.
Thrive in the gray.
Yeah.
And so I think the best compliment I ever got as a player was that I'm a pro.
Mm.
And so that means I did it the right way. I was on time. I was reliable. And ultimately, like, it's the same thing that you talk about on the evaluations. Can you trust him?
Mm-hmm.
Damn right, coach. Throw him in anything. He'll get us out of it. And that's the type of players that you really want, especially on the back end of your defense.
So let's transition. You're out of the league. You're starting to work at the league office in the NFL Legends Development Program.
Yeah.
Communications and marketing.
That's right.
How was that? From playing to now you're behind a desk, on a phone, computer.
And encourage more guys to do that, because I don't think many people know. A lot of guys are just lost in transition.
Yeah, I think it started off with the foresight to be able to call TV and say and utilize the league. Right, he made that promise to me 4 years prior, and I took him up on it. And sure enough, he answered the phone. Now, I'm not saying everybody can call TV, right? But like there is an opportunity for you, and there are resources available to you. So like for me, I took advantage of it, and they rolled out the red carpet for us. It was actually 3 of us in my rotation, myself, Usama Young, and Darrell Young, and DY is now the director of player development with the Steelers, and Us is with the Giants. Right? It was a phenomenal experience. Like for whatever reason, man, I had the awareness that when I walked in the building, that most people were going to assume that I walked in the building with my chest out because I was a former player. That most of the 1,000 or 1,100 employees at 345 Park were like, the reason that you're here is because of the me's of the world. Like, it's just, and nobody knew it about me. Like, that's not the approach that I was going to take, man. I was going to hang up. I was going to come in. I was going to sit down at my desk in my cubicle like everybody else. I was going to try to be a good teammate to everybody. Some people had played college athletics on our team, but for me, nobody had been at least on the team, had been in, at least in my opinion, some of the high pressure environments that we had been in. So I would, pressure in these situations and all our tentpole events and things that we had to do, that wasn't going to bother me much. You know what I was going to do? I was going to get the job done, and I was going to encourage my team to do the same. And we're going to have some hard days, but we're going to enjoy it. We're going to love it up a little bit. So that was my approach to it, was just to be humble about it, just to take in everything I could. Again, like, this is where I thought my life was going to be, was from in a corporate route, if you will. But what I got to learn there and what I wanted to take from the building was not just show up. Hey, I got my former player. I got an opportunity here, man. Let me just kind of soak this thing in and see what happens. No. Like, I want to be involved in the meetings. I want to come up. I showed up on Sunday at the Operations Command Center. I did a volunteer to Sunday at the Art McNally Replay Center just to go sit in and see how kind of the behind the scenes worked and the operations worked of it. I traveled to different sites with Don. I traveled to game sites with Don. I wanted to understand the purple hat, the red hat, the yellow hat, and how that worked and the backside of the game and that perspective. I met with different departments. I met with CP Consumer Product. I wanted to know what it took to be able to license a thing. So if a player came to me with licensing, instead of saying, "Hey, TP, this player wants to license these gowns for a barbershop," I want to know who is it that we go to and what is it that they do. And I got to see the manual that you have to fill out in order to be an official licensee of the NFL product. Like, so it was super cool to understand the behind the scenes and really kind of figure out exactly where I wanted to go in the building. And then being able to work with the team that I worked with, man, Tracy, I can't sing her praises enough. Like, Tracy, Laura, April, Melissa, KB, John, Chris, I wanted to give out my team a shout out because they were phenomenal to work with, man. They embraced me. We loved one another. Like, at one point in time, it was the most fun, like, outside of playing football, it was the most fun job I'd had because I think of the team that I got to work with, but the things that we got to do, man. And I encourage all of the former players or players that are in transition, like, the resources are available. Like, we helped oversee the Legends community, myself and a guy named Patrick and TP. We helped oversee the Legends community, and my direct responsibility in the Legends community was we had a spreadsheet of all our Legends, and I was slowly churning and burning, just calling out everyone. Like, name by name by name. Hey, this is Gregg Scruggs, former player. Just want to make sure you know these resources are available to you. Some people, the old school guys, like, where you at? The league office. Click. And it's like, no, I'm going to call you back, bro. Here, no, you need to hear this. Like, I'm here. I'm telling you, there are a lot of resources available to you if you are willing to reach out and take advantage of them. And if you haven't signed up for Players Community, and if you haven't gotten in touch with your regional rep as a legend, if you haven't done the things, like, there are people there to help you maximize your transition out of the league and into, in Peanuts terms, civilian life, right? Yeah. How can we help you? That was what was fun to me, because I got to talk to so many guys who just wanted somebody to talk. Some guy like, look, I don't need anything, but can you send me a hat? For sure. Like, I'm going to go down, I'm going to find a hat for you. And I took pride in running around that building trying to find one hat to send to this dude, because at least I knew it was going to bridge the connection between the league office and the former players, man. So as you could tell, man, I glow about that job because I felt like it was important work, being responsible. Lynn Swann at the Super Bowl, he was one of the guys I had to, manage, if you will. I was his contact at the Super Bowl.
Liaison.
Yeah, liaison. There you go. I was his liaison at the Super Bowl in 2017. Well, after they did kind of like the hand waving at the beginning of the pregame show, Lynn Swann needed to catch a flight to get back to California, and I had no idea where to go, and he had no idea where to go. And me and Lynn Swann are running up the back stairwell of Minnesota, of the Vikings Stadium, like, together. And I'm like, hey, we'll get you there. I don't know how we're going to get you there, but let's just keep running up these stairs and whatever. And I did get him there, but I took great pride in that.
Yeah.
Because a former player, a dude that's respected, Hall of Famer, man, that dude, he was taken care of by the league. Man, I took great pride in that. And I got to be in a position to be in front of guys to help them in whatever way possible. So I encourage our former players, man, like, I'm not a one-off, man. We are here to want to help you guys. And if you are in trouble or struggling with transition, like, reach out to the league or reach out to a contact. All you got to do is just look it up, man. Former players, NFL, just Google something, right? And you'll be directed to where we are, that's what's important to me, man. So that's why it was a lot of fun. And that experience was second to none. TP, like, if they want to fire me, like, just keep a spot on your team for your boy, man. I come back. I call them when they come to the city, say, you need a deckhand? I'm available. Yeah, I'll do whatever. I'll drive.
I love that about you. Look, dude, you you've been doing your own thing for a long time, and it's worked. Don't ever stop. You have this sense of confidence and belief in yourself, and you kind of just do your own thing. I love it. You became the player development guy at Cincinnati.
That's right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I assume you got the connections because once you start working at the NFL.
No, that was cold call, man. I was looking for jobs, and I was unsure if I was going to be able to stay at the league office. TP didn't have room on her team at the time, but they were going to put me somewhere else in the league office. And I really wanted operations. Like, I felt I came second to being a manager of operations at the league office, which would have been phenomenal for me because ops is kind of where I wanted to go. I saw this opportunity at the University of Cincinnati, and just like anybody in this building or in the world would, I went on the website, found the listing, put in my resume, filled out the application, applied, click send. The only thing I did was I called my high school coach and said, hey, do you know anything about this dude named Luke Fickell? Like, I just applied for a job there, and I just want to know who I'm going to work for. I'm sure he's been through recruiting. Can you tell me anything about him? Like, I just want to know who he is. And he said, yeah, man, this guy, whatever, here, why don't I just call him and tell him that you applied? Like, I said, all good, coach. Like, that's not what I'm asking. Like, I'll do it the hard way. I just want to kind of know what it is. He got in touch with Coach Fick. Coach Fick called me, and we were doing a Legends Summit in Scottsdale.
Uh-huh.
I left the Legends Summit. I caught a red eye from Scottsdale to Cincinnati because I asked Coach, I wanted to come see practice. Like, I just want to see how you operate before I sign up to try to influence. Like, I want to be able to carry the message, but I don't want to carry the message for a message I don't believe. Yeah. So I went, showed up at practice, saw it, loved the way he did stuff, spoke to me, and we talked about it, and I took the job. And I got offered an opportunity. Shout out Art, sorry man, and TV. I got offered an opportunity to stay at the league office, but I got to go home.
Yeah. You do player development for a year.
2
years.
Mm-hmm.
And then How did you get transitioned to coaching?
Man, it was a God thing, man. It was a God thing.
Okay. I love when God pushes us.
That's where I felt like I had a purpose. When I took the job at UC, part of like the parameters of me taking that job was telling Coach Fick, I want nothing to do with coaching. Just so you're on the same page. This is not a foot in the door for me to be a coach. I only want to take care of these kids. I was working, I was on senior leadership. In 2 years, I became senior leadership at the athletic department. I was sitting in coaches' meetings for our head coach, taking notes. I was trying to build relationships across campus. I've only given the context. I wanted nothing to do with coaching. I only wanted to take care of the kids. Shout out Mo Kelly, who's actually director of player development for the Seattle Seahawks. He was my inspiration behind wanting to do that because he took great care and still does the best in the business at his job. He inspired me through my injury. I spent a lot of time with him, and he inspired me to want to be that. I want to be that for players. Like a dude that's I'm just a resource to you to help you take advantage of whatever. I mean, he's the reason I went to grad school when I was playing. Like it was Mo who encouraged me to do that, man. I wanted to be that for the guys. Sitting at a mental health summit at UCLA, trying to get better at my job. I was the only non-licensed clinician at this summit, but I felt like I was oftentimes the first point of contact when our student athletes were having issues, traumatic issues, relationship issues, conflict within the locker room, right? So I was always that. I got to be better prepared. I'm not a licensed clinician, but people do come to me with trauma. So I got to figure out. It was at that summit, the third day, that our D-line coach left Cincinnati. And I read it on the ticker like everybody else, and I had chills come over my body. Like, you need to go do that, bro. So I sat on it. 2 hours later, called my wife and said, "Hey, man, I think I might go into coaching." So what? So I called somebody else. Best advice they gave her: call somebody else who's already in coaching to find out what you're signing up for. So did that. Call back. How do you feel? Feel good? Great. I called Fick and Marcus Freeman. Shout out to them. Like, hey, I know I said I would never coach, but I think it's in the best interest of our program. And I just feel something come over me that if you need me, call me. 2 weeks later, I walked down from my office in a suit jacket and a tie with a resume and had to go in the meeting room that I walked in every day and had to interview with the staff, get up on the board, see what you know, see if this is good enough. And they hired me. And that's how I got into coaching. And I met with a couple people. I dove head first. I took a bunch of notes and tried to write down everything I believed or what I was taught as what I thought was paramount, or thought about my experiences, wrote that down, studied, tried to put what I knew in my head on paper in a way that could be explained to young people, explained to these young players. And fortunately, we hit the ground running. And that's how it happened. Literally just one day sitting at UCLA, our D-line coach had left. Our guys, that will be their fourth D-line coach in as many years. I already know the relationships. I met with all their parents, got all their parents' numbers. I know every kid on the team. Like, I'm already here. Let's do it. And he went through the process. I mean, they did. They interviewed other people, and he interviewed me too. Like, it wasn't like, okay, you got it, move your stuff down. Like I said, I showed up in a suit jacket and a tie. I waited in the lobby until they were ready. And this is a place I work already.
Already got a key code.
Yeah, like I could just walk back there. Hey, Miss Sherry, like, what you doing? But I did. I sat, waited, and then it happened.
I love it. Influence. I've had a lot of people have a lot of influence on my life. Same with Rome. I am here today because many people have poured into me. Mm-hmm. If you had to pick 4 people that just had positive influence, they poured into you, loved you, helped you get you to where you are today, who would those 4 people be? It's your own personal Mount Rushmore.
My great-grandfather, James Felton Sr., Reverend James Felton Sr., God rest his soul, passed away, man. But I don't remember a lot of things he said to me, but that's the man that he was. World War II veteran, city worker, had his own church. He was the epitome of what I grew up to know pastors to be. My family's from the South. They're from Alabama. And my grandfather, like, he took from his own pocket without having much to take care of his church.
Yeah.
Like he would give the shirt off his back for anybody, and that's it. Like, my grandfather passed away, we found out he was paying insurance for like 3 people. Like, he gave the shirt off his back to help somebody. He worked in the city for 30 years. Because of Jim Crow, he wasn't allowed to go to college on a track scholarship, despite being one of the best track athletes in the city of Cincinnati and in the state of Ohio. His numbers would say so, but didn't let it discourage him. Was married to my great grandmother for 50 years. Took care of our family, patriarch. I admire that dude. So that's number one. That'd be number one. Obviously, my mother. And I can't say obviously because some people don't have that relationship, but for me, it's my mother. Hard worker, single working mom, made it happen. I tell everybody I was poor and never knew it. I might have been poor in riches, but I was rich in love. And that was a direct result of my mother. So my mother. Steve Specht, my high school football coach, one of the greatest, if not the greatest orator I know. I mean, he can tell you a message and he can tell you a message direct. He won't say nothing. He's very direct. He provides a lot of belief. I still talk to him to this day. I call him when I need advice. So he had a big impact on me. The fourth, it seems like I leave out so many people, but it's football and what football has done. Like there's a couple people that are still influencing to this day. Carl Thompson, he's somebody not a lot of people know. Mary Beth Hogan Camise, the Luckies, they're great. Like they're my family though. But you talk about impact and influence, Clint Hurt.
D-line coach.
My D-line coach, man. I love that dude, man. And the more that I become a coach, the more I realize what he saw and how he was trying to push me.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, I guess, normal. Like, we're in a competitive business. Mm-hmm. He's got a job. He's one of 32. He's got a job that I want, right? Like, and so he knows he ain't competing with me, but like, so it may not be normal, but I got no problem giving flowers where flowers need to be given. And man, and Clint Hurt, the way that dude pushed me, the way he challenged me, the way that he loved on me, like to make sure that I was going to make the most of my career whether I wanted to or not. Like this is the type of guy that Coach Hurt was, and it influenced me. We had a falling out at the end of my senior year. I got in trouble, and we had a falling out my senior year. Like straight up, I was injured, falling out, straight up. I'm like, I'm going to never talk to this dude again, ever. I get a call while I'm training for the combine, and he said, the first thing he says when he answers the phone was, "Hey, MFer. Hey, man, look, we just don't talk now? We just da-da-da, right?" So I'm like, Coach, we good. Nah, don't give me that BS, da-da-da. Like, this is what it is. Like, sure, I was frustrated. I wanted you to be better. I was frustrated because you was injured. I missed 7 games my senior year. We wanted you to be better. We wanted it for you. So it's frustrating that you can't play. Like, of course I'm frustrated. You got in trouble. I don't want that to happen, yada, yada, yada. But you understand something like, dude, I love you. I'm going to take care of you. Like, you good. So don't ever let that fall in the way of that. It taught me something about relationships, that there may be conflict, but don't let that come in the way with people who pour into you, care about you. And again, do I believe I have the confidence that I do as a player to play in the NFL? If it weren't for that dude, no, not at all. So my grandpa, my mom, Steve Specht, my high school football coach, and then Clint Hurt, because without that dude, I mean, the NFL gave me the platform to be able to coach, gave me the credibility, right, to substantiate my career as a coach, if you will. But without him and the way he pushed me, I don't even sit here with y'all, because I don't know if I ever have the confidence or belief in myself or even get put in a position to play in the National Football League. And that dude, again, just what he believed in me when I didn't really see it or believe it in myself is what played into me being to where I am today from a career perspective. So those 4 people kind of hit the corners of my life. Human being, coach, my mother, just who she is. Everything you hear about me, that's my mama. You drive past my mama in a flashy car, she looks straight ahead like you don't exist. She don't care about that, but she'll be the first person to give her last dollar to somebody on the street. You know, that doesn't mean anything to her for you to have flashes. She don't care about big houses, none of that crazy stuff. No, man, we rooted in what matters, right? What's a person's heart like? You know, my family is a family of service.
Yeah.
So that's where my mother comes from. You know, I told you about my grandfather, you know, which means that my grandmother is the first lady of the church. My great-great-grandmother, who I had until she was 103, she was the mother of the church. She sat on the prayer line from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. until she could take her last breath praying for people. Like, we come from a family of service, so that's the root of my mother. And then who you are as a person, what you care about, your belief in yourself and what you need to go attack and how to be something. That's Steve Specht. And then belief in you from outside in. Not that my family didn't, but they didn't care. My mother wanted me to graduate high school. But the family you know, from a football family, a football perspective, the belief in you, belief in yourself, that dog, that grit. Like Hurt wanted me to be angry. Like, hey man, just go. He would piss me off at practice intentionally because he know then I would uncoil everything I had in my body.
Right.
Like not in a bad way.
Put your face on somebody.
That's right. I would.
Yeah, there we go.
And he would never congratulate me for it.
No, I want to keep it.
That's exactly what you want. You know, I would look at him for you know my approval, for his approval, and he say, "That's exactly what I expect you to do." A little harsh, but I get it. I understand what he's trying to uncork. So man, those 4 people, and there's a lot of people I left out, but they know the thing about me, man. Like they know where I stand with them. You know, like I don't have to.
It's all good. You ain't got to apologize.
Yeah,
it's your
Mount Rushmore. Your 4 is your 4.
That's right. Those are my 4, man.
All I can tell you is I thoroughly enjoyed your conversations and your stories, and just you literally walk to your own beat. Like you just I'm
quad drum
all day. Like I'm not doing that. Even as such a young kid to now, and I love who you are as a person.
I appreciate that.
And it's done you well. And hey, not that you're gonna listen to this, but I hope you do. Don't change. Just keep doing you.
Yeah.
Keep doing you, man. It's worked out well for you. It really has.
For sure. You're highly blessed and favored. You know, from growing up with a single mom, but you've had a lot of great male influence in your life, and you can tell.
Appreciate you guys. No, thank y'all, man. Much respect to y'all. Like I said, the reverence and respect that I have for the game and the way that y'all played the game. You know what I mean? Like it's just it doesn't go unnoticed whether people want to notice it or not. You know, like the way that you played is how I was raised in football. People getting away from that a little bit, I think. Yeah. But it's how I'm raising my kids to play. You know, I'm raising my children how to play the game, man. You go play it in between the lines. You be respectful. You work as hard as you can. And it's guys like y'all, and I'm not saying this because I'm sitting in front of y'all. It's because I know who y'all are before they told me who I was doing the podcast with, right?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I get the flowers to y'all, man. Like I respect the hell out of it, especially as a coach now. Like I'm trying to influence guys. I'm trying to coach guys to move the way that y'all set the standard for me to come in and play. But like some people getting away from it, but I'm trying to make sure our game stays true to that, which is, man, be a good teammate, make people laugh. Man, do your job. You ain't got to be smartest, hardest, fastest, hitting, whatever. But like pour into you, and I promise you it'll work out. And if it doesn't work out, hey man, dude, look, man, you made it to the National Football League, dude. We here. Let's go make something else shake. Whatever that second career, whatever that second chance may be, whatever that second act may be, let's go do it, man. And so I appreciate you guys for the foundation that you laid. And I think more guys and more players, younger players, they'd be better off if they just took a second to listen to you guys, listen to your stories and what you shared and how y'all have done it, or watch the tape and how y'all played the game, man. I think we'd be better off, but that's why I'm here. That's why I'm coaching. That's what I'm trying to do. But I want to make sure I told you guys while I got you guys to your face, man, that I respect you guys. I really do respect the way you guys played the game, prepared, because I was a fan of it, and it's how I learned how to do it. So appreciate y'all, man.
Good job taking the compliment, Peanut. He's gotten really good at that. All right, well, thank you for all of our viewers and listeners out there, wherever you pick up your podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio app. Make sure you continue to tune in. Tell a friend to do what, Peanut?
Tell a friend.
There we go, man. Hit that like, subscribe, follow. Make sure you leave a couple comments. Thomas loves to answer them. And so you can also check us out on the NFL Pages YouTube channel. We're getting our views up every single day and week. Peanut, get us up out of here, my man.
I'm Peanut. That's Roman. That's Greg. Hey, and this is the NFL Players Second Acts Podcast. We out.